let's see if it's loading. Yeah, now we are on YouTube. So, good evening, YouTube. We are here for another English immersion. The topic of today is about sports. So, let's talk a little bit about that. We have already did the presentation. So, we already have done, I guess. So, let's start with the question number one. Okay. So, here, yeah. How to promote gender equality in sport, and do women have the same opportunities as men in high-level sport? What do you think about that, Alexandre? I'll start with you.
I guess so. The women have the same opportunities. Uh, we have a lot of women on the Olympic Games in Paris. I think the more than a half of people who are practicing sport in Paris was women. 62% of the people were women, right? And we have a Raíssa Leal, 16 years old girl. We have Rebecca Andrade, 19 years old girl, playing in high level as much as people, uh, uh, let's say, uh, ma many people, right? And not only in Brazil, but in United States, Russia, Russia not because Russia is were out of the Olympic, but China and Canada, a lot of women practicing sport and competing against uh, the men and receiving medals is very good to for for the world, right? I think that.
Okay. And how about you, Cristiane? What do you think?
About to promote gender equality in sport, I think that creating or improving gender equality policies in sport is really important. It's a good thing to do. And about the second question, human have the same opportunity as men. Unfortunately, it's not yet happening the good way, because in sport you can still find further sponsors, and less made attention are some of the current problems about uh the pr- sponsors. uh, uh, I searched this in some websites about this, because I'm really on, how can I say, desatualizada the sport, the word about sport. And I see a lot of things about this. The less sponsor for women and more sponsors for men. It's really important. And this make woman athletic is very less to see in media, socials, and television, something like this. And good, how can I say, things to practice the good way about sports, like good tools, something like this. And that's it, I think.
Yes, I agree with you about the point of not yet. I think we improved a lot on this case. For example, in the so many years ago, I guess, women didn't participate on competitions, for example. So we have improved a lot, but it's not the perfection yet, because we have it's not balanced yet, I guess. So for example, in this case that you mentioned about sponsor, it's not the same sponsorship related to women and men. So if I think we need to improve, but I think the main points about to the money that sports for men, for example, generates to all the points compared to women. For example, in soccer, it's different. It's not so famous, the soccer of women compared to the men. So that a lot of sponsors are related to the men's soccer. But I think the point is about to focus on the beginning, on the base, I guess. So we need to focus on the structure for these girls to practice sports, to practice soccer, for example. So I think this will be more interesting and will be more focused on sponsor and sponsors will focus uh on women in sports, I guess. So I think it's a complex topic, but I think we need to focus on the base, I guess. It's not just about the final point, I guess. But yeah, I think that's the main idea. But what do you think, Linda? What's your opinion?
I agree with you both. I think like women don't have the same opportunities as men. And I guess the mainly point to change this scenario would be like the sponsorship. So yes, I agree with you guys.
Really great. And how about you, Cowboy? What do you think?
I think this good strategy is put the women's sports and the men's sports together. One example is the World Cup. We have two World Cups in different years: the Women World Cup and the Men World Cup. The best strategy is put the two games in same time. The people will uh, uh, participate in the two games. Watch simply you pay the ticket and you simply watch two games. One uh, female game and one male game. Imagine the World Cup finals when they have in the morning final in the Women's Cup and in the afternoon the men World Cup final. It will be very great strategy. In the other example is the government creates politics to uh, promote the female sports and simply create partnership with the companies. And when a company or organization create uh, participating in these politics, you'll be pay less tax. Is economic use for this company.
Amazing, amazing. So let's go to the question number two. What's the impact of doping in sport, and how can we fight against doping and ensure the integrity of competitions? It's not just related to Olympic Games, for example, but I think we can use the Olympic Games example for talk about that, I guess. But feel free to talk about any competition that you can think or that you want to talk about, okay? So, Cristiane, what do you think?
I think the impact is uh, almost destroy the career of athletic when catch with this practice. It's really bad, and no, not the way to almost destroy the career, but the publishing image, it's really important to the athletic people. I see this. And about the health is really serious. because some websites and videos on YouTube talk about the permanently serious problem in health, and it's really really serious, and it's really sad too, because I see these athletics. I think in Portuguese, desespero, take this decision to consume doping. It's really serious and sad too.
Yeah, maybe I can understand the point about the decision of use some of these points, but yeah, there's a lot of bad consequences related to that. The main one is that it's not fair to the another competitors, I guess, another athletes. So it's complicated to think about equality of competition and a fair competition related to this point of doping, I guess. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of bad points related to that, but I think there is another point that's complicated because, for example, I've heard a lot in the last Olympic Games about the idea of to take a drug, for example, for athletes that need that to treat a disease that they have, for example. And this drug or this substance, for example, can improve in some way the ability of the athlete. So I think that this is a specific point that is so complicated to know if it's a, a doping actually, or just remain, it's not remain, uh, a point to help the disease of the athlete, you know. So I think it's another point because it's difficult to know what is exactly the point of doping or just a medicine, for example. So I think it's another complicated point, but yeah, in the general way, I think there is a lot of bad points. But what do you think, Cowboy? What's your opinion?
In my case, it's supposed to ensure higher fiscalization in this process. One example is 2 hours after, 2 hours before the competition, of the athletes, of the competitors, take blood tests to detect some drugs or some stimulation. And it's supposed to be radical in this behavior, for example. For example, the caffeine is considered a doping because it stimulates the brain. So important is the environment in the place that the athlete is hosted. Don't have coffee or some drinks that you contains caffeine, for example. Other point is uh, ensure higher training for the of the participants in the competition to guarantee without problems as a corruption or situation like the worker did not know about the product is considered a doping for the athlete. It takes from athlete in the S, for example. And in the end, it's supposed to create a structure to high effect fiscalization, like it's a drugs operation in of the environment, of the participants, of the people involved to be fiscalized to detect any problem before the athlete, athlete takes the drug.
Great. I really don't know if all the athletes are tested on Olympic Games, for example, but yeah, I think that's a good point because if it's not, it's like a random thing. So I don't know if it's okay, but yeah. And how about you, Alexandre? What do you think?
So I guess the impact is not so big because we have a little, a few amount of people caught in doping. Maybe in the 100% of people doing sports, you can get one or two people using some kind of medicine, maybe because was a sore throat or or a pain in his head and he got some medicine that was causing droppage. I think another point that can impact a lot is sexual abuse because I don't know if you see in the news about the coach abusing boys and girls even here in Brazil and around the world. It's very bigger than the doping, right? Because it's dangerous and you can't see the situation unless the people make some denunciation, right? It's difficult for like to you have 20 boys try to play in Vasco, Flamengo, Corinthians, and he is under the order of the coach, right? So maybe the boy can accept the situation to to continue practicing sport, but it's very difficult to handle. And it's I think the huge impact in sports negative situation is sexual abuse.
Yeah, it's another important point, actually. It's a really important point. And how about you, Glenn? What do you think?
So, talking about impact on doing doping, I can think of 3 points. The first one, I guess, the most important is the health risks that the athlete doing doping can bring to its health. So I guess it's bad. The second one is the integrity of a sport because when you have like athletes that are doing doping during the competitions, it undermines the competitions and it becomes less fair. And the third one, I guess, it's like those athletes are like role models to kids. So when they're doing that, they don't think that they're going to impact negatively to those
Mhm.
people. So I guess that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with.
this last point is so important because, for example, in Olympic Games, we have a lot of coverage from media, for example, and there's a lot of kids and a lot of people seeing the competition. So there is a lot of kids actually that focus and imagine how it should be an athlete, for example. Or, I don't know, it's like a superhero for them, maybe. So actually, there's a lot of impact on kids and people. So yeah, it's a really good point, I guess. So let's go to the question number three. Do you think the Olympic Games, for example, should be, or the World Cup, for example, should be held or should happen every year? And why do you think that? Uh, what do you think, Cowboy?
Good question. In my case, will be very interesting. The possibility to the Olympic Games should be held every year because when you put a lot of sports, a lot of games, more than existed in this game today. This will be very and in Brazil, particularly the people will be incentivized to practice more sports in the of the countries will put more investment in sports. In Brazil, particularly, it will be great because we, as a Brazilians, we simply involve ourselves with the athletes. We really like the athletes. We really is happy. It became sad when the uh, athletes win or lose in the competition. So this connection with the people in Olympic Games will be stronger than before. There's a good idea in Brazil, creates a Brazilian Olympic Games every year, and in these games in that year, choose the participants to represent the country in the Olympic Games in 4 years.
It's an interesting idea. It's an interesting idea. And how about you, Glenna? What do you think?
I think it would be great to have Olympic Games every year because it increases the economy and it generates like jobs and etc. But I think like if something like the Olympic Games would happen every year, maybe it wouldn't be like that exciting as it is from 4 to 4 years. So I guess that's it.
Very great. And how about you, Cristiano?
It's really important. The point of Cowboy said uh, I don't know in English, gerar more opportunity for new athletics and children, teenagers, and people, all people, and this chance and opportunity, this show and participate to the Olympic because all Olympics is how can I say, take a lot of year to happen and in happen to a selection, I think so. And these take the opportunity some people, good people, to show the best performance, something like this, in this great opportunity, like France or another country. And another point Glenda said, it's really important give new jobs for people and the culture, cultura and tourism. And the 2 points give a chance to people send their things, and it's really important. And I see create a new how can I say, community about sport and incentivize in the schools and to give more opportunity and chance to in the future another jobs too. And really it sounds good. I see this.
Yeah, I think this point about to have Olympic Games, for example, all the or every year, I think it's important to be more valued uh, for the people in Brazil, for example, for the population, because I think we have all this we have this idea of we just have Olympic Games in every 4 years. So I think it's like more, I don't know, all this year that we don't have the Olympic Games, we don't focus on that, you know. So I think it would be interesting for be more valued for the people, I guess. I don't know if it will be true, but I guess. But what do you think, Alexandre, about that?
So, as Glenda said, it would be great to have the Summer Olympic game every year, but it's so expensive to arrange, too difficult to arrange and expensive to for the country that is receiving the game, right? The like Paris, London, United States, they have the everything to offer to the people in the Olympic game, China, Russia, but Brazil don't. Brazil doesn't. And you see other country in South America, Argentina, or no, because if you don't have money enough to invest in a year arrangement, I guess something that could be done is investing inside the country in sports. This, if you imagine the situation, imagine that German or French is a small country, but they win a lot of gold medals. And Brazil is so a big country, it's bigger than all the country in Europe, and win one or two gold medal because there is a lack of investment in sport in Brazil. We can create job, we can create a lot of opportunity in sports, uh, only for our action, right? Investing in soccer, family soccer, the Mali soccer, and other kind of sports to involve people. But I think the government is thinking not about themselves. The people on Congress is thinking about themselves. They are not worried about the population.
Yeah, I think we have good and bad points about that. As a sport lover, I think would be nice to have Olympic Games, for example, every year or a World Cup every year, for example. But I think we can lost this idea of the new, you know, that we have uh, about Olympic Games and the World Cup happen every 4 years, for example. If it would be every year, I think we would lost this point of it's new and it's we have this anxiety to see Olympic Games and to see World Cup because we don't have that every year, you know. So I think it's another point, I guess. But yeah, maybe not for every 4 years, but I don't know, every 2 years, I guess. But yeah, I really don't know. But okay, let's go to the question number 4. Can
So
sport
I
be
have
unleashed?
an
Yeah,
idea
Jean, go ahead.
to improve the amount of medals we are receiving. If
Yeah,
we through kimonos in the favela, right? Because the only people who win a lot of medals can be people who are using kimonos, right? One medal for Rebecca or two, other for Raíssa or two. The rest is people that are fighting, that they are doing sport like I forgot the name of the sport, but people that are using kimonos. If you throw a lot of kimonos in the favela and it creates a place for them to training and have a coach to train them, we could compete more in the Olympic game.
Yeah, maybe it's a good idea. Actually, we have uh, a lot of importance on judo, for example, taekwondo, I don't know, and we have a lot of medals on that. But yeah, maybe it's a good idea. Okay, let's go to the question number 4. Can sport be an instrument of social transformation? And how can sport contribute to social inclusion and community development? I'll start with you, Alexandre. What do you think?
Hmm. If the government invested in sports, had money to invest in sports, as United States and Europe do, we could transform our society, right? And make our society raising for the good, because all the people would be practicing sports and protect themselves from the criminals and transform the situation. But it's Brazil doesn't care about improving his population about sports, right? But it's of course sport can transform the world, can transform the social community and make them come together, right? When you have a lot of people together, you can grow between them. That's it.
Okay. I'm turning off my camera because my internet is so bad, but I think you can listen me. I agree with you, Alexandre. I think it's an important point. I think it's very important for young people, for example, this kind of transformation, this kind of social transformation that sports have on the youngest people, I guess it's so important. So there's a lot of important point about health and develop themselves. But I think it's also important to the relations that they have with other people, other children, for example. So it's a pretty important point for me. But what do you think, Cristiano, about that?
I think important sport be instrument of the social transformation. I believe this. I have a cousin and practice jiu-jitsu, and it's really good to him. And I participated one time the I don't know campeonato. And it's really good see all people reunido and see the sport transformation her life. I see the family, the child, the young, the adults person too, practice and competitions, and a little child to participate the this campeonato. It's really cute too. And um about the community development, it's really I believe this. I believe I see the point like my area technology, um how can I say alcançar some people like in favelas around the world, and give this person a chance to transform their life. And the sport, I can see this too. And and I believe this too. And I see the parents incentivize her child to participate, and I see too this child grow another area in high school, another subjects. It's really happy to me see these results, and see these people come a better person in the future. I believe this too. And I see this.
Yeah, I think this impact on children lives is very important. I think helps a lot on a lot of points. So yeah, I pretty agree with you. And how about you, Glenn? What do you think?
I also agree with Cristiani because I saw some examples of that when I was younger. I used to take my brothers to the classes of soccer. So there was like kids, boys who used to play soccer, and they were like children, and they grew on soccer, and they became like not famous soccer players, but they grew their career on playing soccer. So I guess it is a good instrument of social transformation as well as education and etc. And yes, I think sports can break a lot of barriers that when it comes to like being in a position, in a social position that is better than you are right now. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Very great, very great. And how about you, Cowboy? What's your opinion?
Yeah, and sport in Brazil, principally, is a great instrument of social transformation because we have champions formed in social projects. One example is Rebecca. Rebecca is a gymnast that is participating in the project to poor people, and she uh, did all your best, and we got two medals. One of medals gold, and these medals symbolize of the good results in this project. We need to focus more in projects like that, social projects like that, to ensure uh, the best future to our children and create a new generation of athletes.
Very great, very great. So, let's go to the question number 5. What's the future of sport, with the advance of, for example, of technology and social changes? What will sport be like in the coming decades? Uh, what do you think, Christian? I'll start with you.
It's a interesting question. The first question, it's not easy to answer, and I prefer to believe the future of sport is very good and part of a lot of lives, the people in this world, positive. And I think too, I don't, how can I say, acompanhei the Olympic Games, but I see some videos on YouTube, short videos, and I see some athletics and very good athletics, and I think if this event happened, and I think it in have some athletics to how can I say, se voluntariar, se candidatar to participate and have athletics around the world. And specifically Japan. It's a country very athletics and very focused. It's really interesting. And I think this. And the second question, I see another modalidades involves technology. to come to Olympic Games in the future. I don't think for example, to give an example now, but I think because the technologies is grow and grow every day, every month, every week, and I think this.
Very great. And how about you, Glenn? What's your opinion?
I guess there will be an increase of esports, like, and I guess for the future of the sports and technology, I would like to see more accessible sports. So the accessibility of the athletes, I guess, if the future goes to this way, I guess will be good.
Yeah, I think this point about accessibility is so important, and I think technology can help a lot on that. So yeah, I agree with you, and I think it will improve a lot on the next in the next decades, or I don't know, the next years, I guess. But how about you, Cowboy? What do you think?
I think with the future of sport and the advancement of technology, will be more modalities disputed in Olympic Games. Imagine the Winter Games together in the Olympic Games. This can be possible because you be create a ice track, ice road to the people who compete in these modalities with this snow ski, for example, and the other possibilities like that. And other thing, I think, you'll be advanced technology to register with higher precision some situations and impedes impediment of injustice or fair results. For example, in a soccer match, some soccer player can do a goal with your hand, but with the VAR, you can annul the goal and put the yellow card from the cheated player. In other modalities, with the increase of technology, can be possible to judge better the result of the sports.
Very great. And how about you, Alexandre? What's your opinion?
So I guess it can be good if the future is can better than is now because technology can improve to our area of sport and even when the way they are recovering from the some injuries they have, right? The technologies are using to to help doctors that are treating these athletes. So technologies is will improve the kind of people practicing sport and about the investment. If you have more investment in sports, the sport can grow as well. And I guess the government is open their eyes about investing in sports because if you don't want kids to involve in drugs, to be sick, to to be a criminal, you need to invest in something to capture them to inside the sport, right? Because if you are in good company, you can uh, develop your mind for the good. I will confess to you guys, I have the opportunity to be a criminal, right? When I was 16 years old, I had it nothing to be proud. I just come to the city without money, without clothes, without shoes, without job. And my I don't say primos, Acho que tem que ter. How do I say primos? My primos, they were stealing fruits and eggs in the fair. And they called me to go with them to steal fruits and eggs and vegetables in the fair. And I say to them, no, I will study. So I had the opportunity to be a criminal, and a lot of children from 10 to 16, 17, 18, they have a lot of opportunity to be criminals, right? They don't have opportunity as well to play sport. Unless football, because soccer, you need to own a ball in a little place to play, right? And then you can see a lot of young boy play soccer in Barcelona, in Real Madrid, in other team in the world because they develop their ability with only a ball, right? But other sports need to have investment. If you invest in sport, you will save the world, save the children. You need to open our mind to invest. If you have a son, if Christian have a girl, a little girl, you and me and Marley and Glenda, we can invest in our our parents, our children to grow using sport. Right? I think it's the good way to save the world and to stop this kind of high criminal in Brazil, for example.
Very great points. Actually, my internet is pretty bad, but actually we have some time for another question, guys. But I would like to send here on the chat the link of the survey. As you know, it's an anonymous survey. You can talk about what did you think about the immersion, or just suggest another topic, for example, or I don't know, say what do you think. And yeah, that's the idea. I actually I forgot the words. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, and I hope you come on the next time. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for coming, and I see you the next time. Okay, bye bye.